evening to one and all. It gives a very immense pleasure for me to deliver this welcome address for our Diksha e-way of learning. Uh, During this lockdown period, this has given a very good opportunity for Coimbatore Ayurveda College to conduct this series of lectures through online portal Diksha e-way of learning, and there are a lot of eminent personalities of Ayurveda faculties from throughout the India has been delivering their classes, and the students are benefiting out of this all classes, and it is a good opportunity for us to learn from different eminent persons. So today we have one of the eminent person, Dr. Sanjay M. Kadlimati sir. He is a professor and department of the Kayachikitsa, principal sir for BLDES AVS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Karnataka. So on behalf of the Coimbatore Ayurveda College, Diksha e-way of learning, and our beloved principal Sudhir sir and our faculties and students, I warmly welcome you, sir, for this session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. With great joy and immense pleasure, I extend my warm welcome to all the dignitaries, guests, and delegates present here for the webinar series organized by Diksha e-Learning in association with Ayurveda College Coimbatore. In today's session, we'll be discussing about a practical approach towards the management of Grahani by Dr. Sanjay M. Kadlimati. Let us start the session with a small prayer. वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Now, let me share a few basic etiquette of this class. All questions are to be posted in the chat and we'll go through them once the class is over. For the best stability, use a laptop and a high-speed internet connection. If your video is on, please make sure you are in front of a professional background. In case of any disruption, kindly check your network connection and wait patiently for the class to resume. Please make sure your microphone is on mute to have a disturbance-free session. Make sure you have your full name displayed so it is professional. Now, without further delay, I would like to welcome Dr. Sanjay M. Kadlimati. Before that, I'd like to give a brief introduction about today's guest speaker. He is currently working as a principal and professor, Department of Kaya Chikitsa, BLDES, AVS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Vijaypur, Karnataka. He completed his BAMS in SVM Ayurveda Medical College, Ikkal, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bengaluru, in the year 2001, and his MD in Kaya Chikitsa from Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli, Bengaluru, in the year 2006. He did his PhD from Institute of Postgraduate Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, Gujarat Ayurveda University, Jamnagar, in the year 2010. He is also a resource person and has delivered several guest lectures and has given many television and radio programs. He has more than 13 years of experience in the field of Ayurveda. He has been awarded Great Teacher Award by the students of Vedika Gurukula, Emeryville, California, USA. He is also a great orator, and we humbly welcome and we are humbled by his presence among us today. So without further delay, let me hand over the mic to Dr. Sanjay M. Kadlimati. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for an introduction. And at the outset, I would thank Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, my senior friends, Dr. Sudhir and team, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the topic of management of Grahani. I'll be sharing my screen. So just can you confirm that whether my screen is visible and I'm audible, clear? Loud and
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. The topic given to me is a practical approach towards the management of Grahani. We all know that Grahani, the definition of Grahani itself is Yat Annam Grahanad Grahani Mataha. That means the Grahani is such an organ which is the Adhisthana of Agni and it does the Grahana of Anna. So when we say the Grahana of Anna, many students ask me the question, the Grahana, if you say it's a holding capacity or holding, up to what time it holds? The answer for this is Annam Grahanat Grahani Mataha Yavat Grahanam Yavat Samyak Pachanartham Tavat Grahanam. That means until and unless it is completely digested in a well form, only to that point it will hold. After that, what is the function? It is Vivechati Munchati. The Samana Vayu you all know. Samano Agni Samipastha Koste Charati Sarvataha Annam Grahannati Pachati Vivechati Munchati. So Agni Adhisthana Manasya means Grahani is a site of Pachaka Pitta, no doubt in that. It is a site of the Samana Vayu as well as it also co-hosts the Kleda Kapha, which will be helpful for the digestion and metabolism. So many people get confused that Grahani is duodenum or what, sir. So it will be very unscientific for us to compare exactly the Ayurvedic Koshtangas with the modern anatomy because we cannot vis-a-vis 100% correlate it. If we say Grahani is duodenum, then it's a blunder mistake because Pakvamashaya Madhyagam Yad Annam Grahanat Grahani Mataha. So if you consider the Amashaya as a stomach where the uncooked food stays and Pakvashaya as the latent part of small intestine, that is the ileum and the large intestine, then it is Pakvashaya. The whole of the intestines present in between these two can be called as Grani. That means duodenum and jejunum, where the Anna Pachana takes place properly. So only duodenum is wrong. That is why it said, Naber Uparyeha Agni Balena Upastabdopa Brahmitaha. So this Grani is situated above the Nabi and situating there, it will do the Brahmana and Upastambana of the Agni. These last two lines are very important. It's very beautiful also because our Guruji in Jamnagar used to say that, see the meaning, it's so important that apakvam dharayatyannam pakvam srijati parshvataha. That means if the food is not completely digested, it holds until it is digested. Pakvam srijati parshvataha. That means it is digested, then it will let's go for the further process. Srijati parshvataha. But if the grahani is durbala, if the agni is durbala, durbala agni bala dushta. If the agni bala is durbala and if the grahani is dushta, tu amameva vimunchati. This food without digesting will be sent forward for the further processing. That is why we see people with grani having muhur baddha muhur dravam apakva anna mala pravritti. That means even I see the patient saying that, sir, I can see the grains of rice in my stool. I can see the grains of moong dal or any dal or any grains or that is undigested that is coming out of the stool. That is why amameva vimunchati. If the grani is dushta, if the agnibala is durbala, then uncooked food or undigested food itself will be thrown out to the body. So, Ajirnadhyashanam Grahani Dushananam Sreshtam, Charaka Sutra 25. So, Acharya Charaka in Ejjaprushi Adhyaya, the main cause of Grahani is Ajirnadhyashana. So, many students who have joined today may ask, what do you mean by Ajirnadhyashana? Many may be knowing also the answer. If the previously taken meal is not digested properly, you are not supposed to eat another meal. If we eat another meal before the previously taken meal is digested, then it is called as Ajirnadhyashana. And among all the causative factors of Grahani, Ajirnadhyashana is the main cause for Grahani. That's why in the Agrasangrahaniya Dravyas, in Charaka Sutra 25, the best major cause, Shrestha cause for the Grahani Dushana is Ajirnadhyashanam Grahani dosharanam shreshtam. So not only that, then what is the time to eat then? This answer is given by Yoga Ratnakara. That is, yama madhye na bhoktavyam, diyamena tyajeta. That means you are not supposed to eat before one yama, that is approximately 3 hours. If you have taken any solid food, then you are not supposed to eat any other solid food until at least 3 hours. And don't fast until 6 hours also. More than 6 hours also is the next version told in Yoga Ratnakara. So why Grahani dosha? Why not Grahani roga? Because Charaka always explained rogas or vyadhi like that thing. But here in this chapter only, it is told Grahani dosha chikitsadhyaya. Chakrapani clarifies beautifully, saying that why the name Grahani dosha is given is because of Grahanim Ashrito Agni dosho Grahani dosha. That means it is the dosha of the Agni which is taking shelter in the Grahani. That is why it is called as Grahani dosha. So 100% this word, this sentence gives us a clue that it's a debate again that Grahani is a functional deformity or an anatomical deformity. If you see the Chakrapani's commentary, we definitely feel that it is a functional deformity because Agni is not an anatomical thing. There is nothing anatomical deformity in the duodenum or the jejunum. It is the physiological, it is a functional. But if you see the lakshanas like peptic ulcers and duodenal ulcers also come under this concept. I'll tell you why Charaka has not mentioned a separate chapter on Shula. He has mentioned only the Gulma or Grahani or Udara like that. So let us not debate on this concept of whether it is a functional or anatomical. We'll come to know definitely. So the main cause again, apart from Ajirna Deshana, the second best cause of Grahani, which is mentioned in Charaka Chikitsa 15, that is Grahani Chikitsa Adhyaya, is so beautifully for this modern world, for this Kali Yuga, the modern world, where we listen to our tongue rather than listening to our heart or the mind. There, yohi bhunkte viding taktva, one who eats without following the proper vidhi. What is the proper vidhi? Ahara vidhi visheshayatanas. The Ashtavida Ahara vidhi visheshayatanas, or the Bhojana Sevana vidhi like Ushnamashniyat, Snigdamashniyat, Ekantamashniyat, na hasyam, na bhashyam, right? So many things are there told in the Vimanasthana of Charaka. You are not supposed to talk. Tanmanha bunjit. Eat with due devotion, love, and respect towards the food. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that I am present in your body in the form of Agni. I am Vaishvanarohi Bhutva. So he says, Agni, I'm the God present in the form of Agni Devata in your body. Hence, whatever food we eat is exactly equal to doing a yajna. Because in yajna, what we do for the homa kunda on the fire, we put some havanas or havis, we call the grains or some ghee or etc. Similarly, the food what we are putting towards the Agni, eating the bhojana is nitya yajna. Dvikala bhoji. 2 times what you are doing is a yajna we do. That is why the food should be taken with due respect. In Kannada, here we call it as prasada. Prasada is a blessing of God. We don't call it as food or we don't say we are eating. We say that prasada sevana. That means we are eating the food as a blessing of God. Hence, people, those who eat the food without following the vidhi, what is explained in Ahara Vidhi Visheshayatana, as well as the Ahara Vidhi Sevana of Charaka Vimanasthana, those people are more prone for suffering from Grahani dosha. And next, one more word is there, Sa Laulyat Labate Shigram. So adding fire to the burns again, the salt to the fire burn is laulya, the greed of the jiva. If you are listening to your tongue, if something is tasty, so tomorrow you'll get it or not. So eat it full stomach today only. Then you are listening to your tongue. Then definitely by the greed of your tongue, you are at the high risk of suffering from Grahani. Nidanas, I will not take much time because I'll be, as a Kaya Chikitsa expert, I'll be sharing you my practical experience of treating the Grahani Chikitsa. So all these Nidanas I know, Ajirna, Abhojanat, Ajirnati Bhojanat, Vishamashana, okay, Asatme Guru, etc. So these 2 lines I would like to highlight, the middle 2 lines. By all these Nidanas, what happens is, Dushat Agnim, Agni gets Dushita by all these Nidanas. So, my dear friends, we all know that rogaha sarve api mande agnau sutaram udarani cha. Right? So, udara is major disease where 13 types of ashtodara, 8 types of udaras have been told. And there they say sarve rogaha mande agnau, rogaha sarve api mande agnau. But Charaka didn't say that. In Udara Chikitsa, Charaka didn't say mande agnau. Charaka said, the word used by Charaka is so intelligent. That's why I call nobody can compete with Charaka. Because whatever Astanga has done is the compilation of Charaka and Shushruta. It has made it easy for the viewers to understand Ayurveda. Whereas Charaka says that, listen carefully, it is very important. Agni doshan manushanam roga sanga pratagvidaha. Malavruddhya pravartante visheshena udaranitau. The word used by Astanga is Rogaha Sarvepi Mandyaganam, whereas Charaka uses the word Agni Doshan Manushanam Roga Sangha Pratagvidaha. So if we feel Ashtanga is correct or Charaka is correct, I don't want to debate because both are great acharyas on their own part. There is a limitation for everybody. But my question is, if Rogaha Sarvepi Mandyagano is there, then what about Vishamagni and Tikshnagni? Are they healthy? Obviously not. Vishamagni will also cause disease. Tikshnagni will also cause disease. So Charaka is more correct in this way that Agni Doshan Manushanam Roga Sangha Pratagvidaha. So he uses the word not Mandagni, but he uses the word Agni Doshan. That means it may be Mandagni, it may be Vishamagni, or it may be Tikshnagni. That is Samagni minus all the rest three are the causes for all the diseases and especially Udara. That is why this Agni, when it is Dushta, Sa Dushto Annam Na Tat Pachati Lagu Api. Lagu Api. Even though it is a Lagu Ahara, that Dushta Agni cannot even digest the lightest food, maybe a quantity or a quality. Then once it is not digested, what happens? Apachamanam Shuktatvam Yati Annam Visharupatam. This Apakva Anna becomes fermented. Shukta Kalpana, we all know, in Vaisaja Kalpana we have studied. It becomes fermented, it becomes Alasi Bhuta, Alasaka. It stays inside the body and it attains fermentation. Shuktatvam Yati Annam, that Anna becomes Ghora Visha, Visharupatam. So, this Ama Visha is one of the dangerous among all the Vishas. So, once this Ajirna has manifested, then there will be many Lakshanas like Vishtamba, Sadana, Shiroruk, Murcha, Brahma, Prustakatigraha, Jrumba, Angamarda, Trishnacha, Jaraschardi Pravahanam, Arochako, Avipakascha, Ghoram, Anna Visham Chatat. I want you to note this word at the end of this shloka of Charaka Chikitsa 15. Charaka clearly says that among all the Vishas, Ghoram, Anna Visham Chatat. Because even if a king cobra bites you, you can die in some minutes. So that's fine. But this Anna Visha will not leave you to survive, neither it will leave you to die. It is a Naraka Yatana, we call it as Trishanku Sthiti. So suffering is too much. Dying at once, sometimes it's considered as a blessing after some age. We hear our relatives talking like that. After 80, 90, heart attack suddenly has gone, so no pain and all, that is fine. But Ghoramanna Visham, it will not allow you to survive, neither it will allow you to die. It gives you so much of trouble. See the Lakshanas, Vistamba, Sadana, Shiroja, Murcha, Brahma. Many Lakshanas are there. That is why Charaka rightly said this undigested food as Ghoram Anna Visham Chatat, Ghora, dreadly. Then, once this Anna Visha, see, we all know the concept of our Roga Nidanam, that whenever a complex of Samprapti is formed in the body, when this Ama reaches, the Ama Visha reaches the Hridaya, the Vyana throws this Ama Visha into the circulation. Once this Ama Visha is circulating all over the body, we all know the beautiful shloka, Kupitanam hi doshanam sharire paridavatam, Yatra sangaha kha vegunyat vyadis tatropa jayate. So once this Anna Visha is circulating all over the body, there is a maximum chance of mixing with the weaker doshas in the body. So if in somebody's body, if Vata is Vikrita or vitiated, this Ama Visha mixes with the Vata. If Pitta is weak, Ama Visha mixes with the Pitta. And if Kapha is weak, Kha Vaigunyat, right? Wherever there is a Srutadrushti, this Ama Visha goes there, travels there, makes the Sansamshraya there, and causes that respective organ specific pathology. See, why Charaka has told Samsrujamanam Pittena first here? Because being the Agni Adhisthana, the maximum chance of this Annavisha to mix with is Pitta, because both are very close to there. Ashraya, Ashraya, like that you can call it as. So Samsrujamanam Pittena, once this Amavisha or Annavisha mixes with Pitta, what happens? Daham Trishna Mukhamayan. So practical experience, what I'm telling is, many patients come to me with mouth ulcers. You all know stomatitis, and modern science gives them B complex or folic acid, some iron tablets, all this they give. Even then, or even sometimes they consider it as oral candidiasis and they give some antifungals like fluconazole and all these types of medicines they give, and they will not be cured. They will not be cured at all. And finally, as it happens in the world, that once everything is over, they come to Ayurveda seeking the help, especially in Karnataka, it's like that. You people are lucky in Tamil Nadu and Kerala that first choice only they come to you. But here, once they come, the doctors will fail to treat because they didn't assess the cause. Here, the Dushta Annavisha is mixed with Pitta causing Mukhamayan. So this B complex and folic acid will not help here. So treat Samapitta, give some Mrudu Virechana and Deepana Pachana and Pitta Shamana you should do, like Tikta Dravyas, which is the best Deepana Pachana, Shroto Shodhana, as well as it's a Pitta Shamana, then the mouth ulcers will automatically vanish. Then see, Charaka has never given a chapter separately on Amla Pitta. In the 30 chapters of Chikitsa or in the 8 of Nidana, there is no Amla Pitta Chikitsa Adhyaya. That is why in Charaka's time, Amla Pitta was a Lakshana of the Pitta mixed with the Sama Annavisha. That is, Janayati Amla Pittam cha Pittajams cha Paran Gadan. So all the Pitta Vikaras along with Amla Pitta, Trishna, Mukhamaya will be caused. If the same Annavisha mixes with Kapha, see what happens. Yakshma Pinasa Mehadin, Kafajan Kafasangatam. Yakshma, Rajakshma, Shosha, Pinasa, Dushta Pradishaya, cold. Mehadin, so Santarpanata Vikaras, Prameha, Kushta, Medoroga, all these will be produced once this Dushta Annavisha mixes with Kapha. So major cause of all the diseases is Agni Mandya or Agni Vikara or Annavisha. Then finally he says, Karoti Vasa Transustam, Vatajanscha Gadan Bahun. If it mixes with Vata, Vatajanscha Gadan Bahun. Many Vata Vikaras will be produced. Similarly, Annavisha mixes with Mutra, Mutra Roganscha Mutrastam, Kukshi Rogan Shakrudgatam, Rasadibhischa Sansustascha, Kuryat Rogan Rasadijan. So as per the respective combination of Dosha Dhatu and Mala, that respective Dosha Dhatu Mala Vikruti will be produced by the mixture of Annavisha. So Purrupa, Trishna, Alasya, Balakshaya, Vidaho, Annasya, Pakasya, Shirat, Kayasya, Gauravam. This we all know. So I will not take much time for this. See, Lakshana, many say that Murbaddam, Murdravam, it is a Pratyatma Lakshana. Obviously, no doubt in that. But Lakshanas are going to vary as per the patients. And Dosha Dhatu or Dosha Dusha Vikalpa Samprapti. Amshamsha Kalpana, the Lakshanas are going to vary. So what happens here in Grahani is Atisrushtam Vibaddam Va. Sometimes it is Atisrushtam, that is too much. Srushtamala is watery stools. That means it's bhinna, not watery, bhinna, broken, too much vegas, too much creativity, too much vegas are there. Vibaddam Va, sometimes it will be constipated. Dravam, watery, tadupavishyate. Associated symptoms are Trishna, Arochaka, Vairasya, Praseka, Tamakanvitaha, Shvunapadakaraha, Sa Asti Parvaruk. So there may be swelling because Amavisha is there, bones and joints, there will be pain, Sa Asti Parvaruk. Because if you see the Amavata, again Charaka has not mentioned Amavata, Vayuna Prerito Hi Ama Sleshma Sthanam Pradhavati. Charaka has told in a coded form that this Annavisha mixes with Kapha, Kaphajan, Kaphaja Rogas will be produced. Yakshma Pinasa Mehadin. Adin comes like this Samavata also. Asti Parvaruk, Chardanam, Jwaraha. Loha Amamandi Tiktamla Udgarascha. Here comes a close relation of Amla Pitta again. The patient will complain of belchings, which are Lohagandhi, Amagandhi, Tikta, and Amla Udgara. Again, we consider Amla Pitta as a Lakshana of one of the Pitta Grahani or Grahani like that. So I'll not take much time in Nidanas of Vata Grahani, but Lakshanas definitely we have to see because many patients come to your clinic with these Lakshanas. If Vata Grahani, if any patient is suffering from by taking more Katatikta Kashaya, etc., Tasya Anna Pachate Dukkam, Shuktapakam Karangata. The food what he takes will be delayed in digestion. Pachate Dukkam, Shuktapakam Karangata. So the patient's digestion is fermented. He gets sour fermentation. Shuktapakam. Karangata is Karakoshtata. The kosta becomes Kara because Vata is there. The patient will suffer from dryness of the Kanta Asya Sosha. Kshitrishna Timiram Karnayoho Sonaha. Tinnitus. Parshva, Uru, Vankshana, Griva Rojo, Abhikshnam, Visuchika. There may be Visuchika also. Prutpida, Karsha, Dorbalyam, Vairasyam, Parikartika, cutting type of pain. Krudihi Sarvarasanam, Cha Manasaha Sadanam Tata. That means the patient is mentally depressed. Mona Avasada, mental depression. Jire Jirete Admanam, when the digestion is over or at the time of digestion, the patient feels full stomach because it's a Vata Prakopakala. Jirne is a naturally Vayoho Ratri Bhuktanam Tiyantam Madhyadiga Smrtaha. Pramat. Bhukte Swastam Upeticha. Soon after eating, he feels all right. So now we have to think about some diseases of the modern science where the patient feels all right while eating, soon after eating, whereas he gets increase in symptoms at the time of digestion and after the digestion, which is Vata Kala and Pitta Kala. But Bhukte Swastam Upeticha. Soon after eating, he feels all right. Why soon after eating he feels all right? Because soon after eating, Kapha is increased, which are exactly the opposite gunas of Vata. Hence, Vata is subsided naturally for some time soon after eating because Kapha is increased. That is why he feels relief from the symptoms. But once digestion starts and digestion is over, his symptoms will aggravate automatically. But when clinically the patients come, this Vata Grahani patient is so confusing that Charaka himself agrees, Sa Vata Gulma Hrdroga Pliha Shanki Cha Manavaha. Shanka, doubt. When a patient comes to your clinic, the doctor is in the doubt whether this patient is of Vata Gulma, Vata Hrdroga, or Pliha Roga. So you have to differentially diagnose between Vata Jagrani, Vata Gulma, Vata Hrdroga, and Pliha Roga. Then you have to come to the conclusion based on the Lakshanas what are mentioned in this sloka. So diagnosis in Ayurveda is very difficult. You have to be very perfect in the basics of the Roga Nidana and Samhitas. Because see, he gives you the clue. If the patient is passing delayed stool with difficulty, sometimes it is dry, sometimes it is liquid, it is undigested, and there is more gurgling sounds in the abdomen, and the mala is fenavat. Chirat dukkam dravam shushkam tanu amam shabda fenavat. Punaha punaha srujet parchaha kasa shwasarvito anilat. Again and again, the patient will go to the toilets and he will be suffering from kasa shwasa. Then you have to understand that it is a Vata Grahani. In Pittaja, it is almost close to the gastritis. If you see the Amla Pitta Lakshanas, Agnim Aplavad Hanti Jalam Taptam Ivanalaha. Here to want to throw some light because how can Pitta decrease Agni? It is because of the Dravataha Vruddhi of Pitta. Agnim Aplavayad Hanti Jalam Taptamiva Analam. Even though if you are pouring hot water, it doesn't mean that the water is hot, so the fire will burn more vigorously. Not like that. Even though the water is hot, it is a water, it will definitely extinguish the fire. Similarly, the Dravataha increased Pitta, even though it is Pitta, even though the Pitta should increase Agni, it will decrease Agni because of the Dravataha Vruddhi. So Ajirnam, the patient is suffering from Ajirna. Neela Pitabam Sarate Dravam. The stool which is passing will be either Neela Varna or Pitaba, yellowish color. And other symptoms as a sort of gastritis or Amla Pitta, Puti, foul smelling Udgara. Amla Udgara, sour eructations or sour belchings. Prut Kantadaha, epigastric burning and throat there will be burning, just like Amla Pitta, Urdu Amla Pitta Lakshanas. Daha Aruchi Tridarditaha. The burning, Aruchi, the patient will not have the proper appetite and will be suffering from Trishna, which is nothing but a Amaja Trishna equivalent. Kafaja Grahani, here the main Nidana what we have to notice is Always I tell to my students, take dinner very early, by either maximum by 8 o'clock, in between 7 to 8. Because if you take at 10 o'clock and sleep soon after eating, see the nidanas of Kafachakrani. Guru atisnigdha shita adi bhojanat ati bhojanat bhukta matrasya cha sapanat. This is very important. Bhukta matrasya cha sapanat. Soon after eating, if you sleep, then sir, what is the maximum time limit between sleeping and eating? I say it is minimum 1.5 hours or 2 hours. The time interval between eating the food and sleeping should be in the night. It should be minimum 1.5 hour to 2 hours. That means if you are going to bed by 10, finish your dinner by maximum 8 o'clock, and it should be very light as possible as per your Agni. We see late night parties, and after the dinner, even in many of the Ayurvedic conferences, very sorry to say this, so-called International Ayurveda Conference, so-called National Ayurveda Conference, after dinner they are serving ice cream, and the dinner is served at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and they are serving some desserts or ice creams at the end, and directly are going and sleeping in your room wherever it is given. So this is the worst part of we people, that our own people sometimes, because of the modern lifestyle, we are not following. Always the rasa krama, what we are eating should be as per the Ayurvedic classics. Madhuramla, Lavana, Katatikta Kashaya. Someone says, like Ashaka or Bhavaprakash says, Madhurena Samapet. I don't agree with this, because Charaka in Siddhistan also has given, everywhere he has given the clue that Ahara Krama should be always eat sweets first, Kashaya last. But whereas nowadays we see that somebody will eat desserts, somebody will eat some chocolates or some ice creams after the end of the food. So it is very unscientific, because after the digestion of after the end of the food, we want the pitta to start its work, not kapha. So if we eat sweets and ice creams, the kapha increases. It leads to mandagni, and it leads to hama. So always in Ayurveda, start with Madhura, end with Kashaya, as per the sequence of rasa is the logical thinking. So here, the patient, when suffering from Kafajagrahani, he will have many lakshanas like delayed digestion, Hrullasa, Chardi, Aruchi, Asyopadeha. That means the patient's mouth is always sticky, and he has more mala in his mouth, more coating inside the mouth. Madhurya, without eating any sweet, the taste of the mouth becomes Madhura. Kasa, Stevana, Pinasa, Hridayam Mannate Sthanam, heaviness in the heart region. Udaram Stimitam Guru, Stimitam iti Ardravastra Achhadanam. The abdomen feels like as if somebody has put a wet cloth on the abdomen. That much of heaviness is there and dampness is there.